Time for some Tottenham therapy. Here's the lineup I would start if I was in charge, and a lineup I think Thomas Frank will go with tonight. I think he'll obviously make a couple of changes for the suspension and injuries we've picked up, but I think generally he'll go for pretty much the same side as the one against Manchester United. So in goal, I think he'll pick Vicario, obviously ever present in goal. You know, he kept us in the game against Man United on Saturday, and I don't think, I don't think Frank will drop in for this game. I think at the moment in time, it's too important to us. I think Vicario is definitely going to be a goalkeeper tonight, in my opinion. Right back, I think Thomas Frank will go with Archie Gray. Again, I think last few games he's played at right back. I think he's done really well. Man City, second half he was excellent. I think against Man United he actually done all right. We've got a lot of injuries in that position. Pedro Porro being out, so I think Thomas Frank will stick with Archie Gray. We don't really have a lot of choice, but I think Gray will be the one playing at right back. Our centre backs, I think Radusin will come in for Christian Romero, who's obviously suspended. Radusin hasn't actually played much football this last year since he's come back from injury. I thought he did well against Man United, but he was a bit rusty against Man City. But obviously we have not got much of a choice with centre backs, so I think Radusin will come into centre back. So I'm expecting a big performance from him tonight. Next to him is the ever-present Mickey van der Ven. Van der Ven, obviously, you can't drop this player. As shown against Man City, obviously we need his pace against Man City, and he came back against Man United, and I thought he actually played quite well. He's one of our standout players. His pace definitely gets us out of trouble. So we can't drop him. He's too important to us, and probably our most important player, and especially with set pieces as well. So he pops over a few goals. Left back, I'm going to go with I think Sousa will come in left back. I thought he'd done alright when he come against Man United. Obviously Destiny Dodley went off injured, which is a massive blow to him and to us really, because that player cannot stay fit. But I thought Sousa, when he came on, Sousa done really well. He was up against Adama Traore on Saturday, which obviously Traore is a very fast and talented player, and I thought Sousa handled him pretty well. And Sousa, he's pretty quick himself and got forward all right. I hope that obviously the fan base give him a bit of time to settle him, because he's only young, but I think what I saw him on Saturday, I think we've got real talent on our hands, and hopefully he can stay fit as well, because we need as many players as we can. But Sousa's definitely the one I think will come in at left back. So in midfield, I think he'll go for a similar formation that he started the game against Man United on Saturday. I think it'll be Gallagher in midfield in a 1 of 3. So I think it'll be Gallagher. I think I've been quite impressed with Gallagher since he's joined Spurs. Obviously he's not been on the winning side yet, but I think his work rate, tenacity to win the ball, I think is exceptional. And I do think Gallagher will come back into. I think Gallagher will start the game. And I think he has a lot of passion, and hopefully one day he could be captain of Tottenham. I think he's a real leader. I think we definitely need him. Alongside him is Palhinha. Now, they all say you can't fall in love with a lone player, but how can you not fall in love with Palhinha? I think he's so passionate. He wins tackles. He's an excellent footballer. I think underrated in my opinion because of the job he does. He's not flashy, but he's definitely, definitely a solid number 6, and wins. Obviously, one he goes from tackles very rarely. Commits fouls with his tackles, and most of the time wins the ball. So definitely a player I'd want to keep in the summer if we can. So Palhinha will go in there. And next to him is Sarr. I think will make up the 3 in midfield. A bit of a weird one with Sarr. Frank, I don't know. Frank obviously just doesn't fancy him for some reason. He's an excellent runner. He runs with the ball. He's brilliant at that. I think he's a decent player. Don't really have many options in there, but I think he's better than Basuma anyway. And I think he'll come into a midfield three. I think we have to try and match their midfield. So I think their midfield's going to be very strong. So if we can match their midfield, then definitely we have a real chance. I think Saul will come in as the midfield three. So our forward players, I think it'll be similar to the Man United game. I think Xavi Simons will be on one side. So I thought he played quite well against Man United, and I thought he's sort of growing into the Premier League a lot more now, coming into his own, being involved in play a lot more and in goals, and not so much goals but assists. He's really starting to rack them up a bit more. Just needs a few more goals and needs to believe in himself a bit more. But in general, I think Simons has done really, really, really well the last few weeks, and I expect him to come in the team. Another player who I think will start on the right hand side is Odebear. I think Odebear, I've never been a massive fan of Odebear. I think he's quite championship standard at times, but I think I must admit the last few weeks I've been impressed with him a lot more. He just needs to work on his final ball at times and his goal output. I mean, he doesn't score any goals really, does he? Or not many at all. But he's quick and he does cause defenders problems. But I just think if he just worked on, he's only young, but if he worked on his game a bit more, he could be a real player. But I think he'll come in on the right hand side, and obviously the striker, Dominic Solanke, I think will start the game. Haven't got much choice. The only option is Moani, but I think definitely bring Dominic Solanke back in. He's been excellent since he's come back from injury. Didn't have a great game against United, but I think before that scored a few goals and important goals. And I think long may that continue. Hopefully he gets a few tonight, but yeah, Dominic Solanke is who I think will start tonight. But what do you think? And let me know in the comments below. What do you think of my predicted lineup? And if you've got any changes to make, let me know in the comments below. But thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe to this video. It really helps me out. And see you in the next one.